Morrissey, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, President Taylor, and good morning, everyone. I'm actually going to spend a little bit of time this morning doing an operational update related to some recruiting that we have going on now, and then an update on a recent meeting that I had as a member of Inclusive Capitalism. So first of all, we know that the labor market is pretty tight here in California and frankly around the country. Like other state and private organizations, this does pose a few challenges to our recruitment efforts. And in response, we had a group of employees get together and come up with a great idea. It's an approach that we're calling rapid recruitment events. It's an effort to both broaden our outreach, but also significantly shorten our traditional hiring timelines, which is one of the problems we're trying to solve. And that's, every time we come up with a great idea, we always want to ask the question, well, what problem is it that we're trying to solve? And I think what we found is as we're extending offers to candidates, because our recruitment processes were extending into weeks, if not maybe months, those candidates had been selected for other positions. So rapid recruitment to us means hiring on a very large scale in a way that makes the process quicker and easier for candidates to apply and for hiring teams to extend those offers to their top candidates. Our chief of HR calls it, giving the promise ring early so they know that we're interested in them while we work through the process of selection. It's also a solution, I think, that has really re-energized the organization and increased collaboration. Coming out, we're a year into returning to the office, that sense of collaboration, that connection, getting away from some of the routines that we really all started by working 2 years remotely and developing those new processes and new routines with one another. And this just helped to kickstart some of that work together. There are 3 phases to the program. The first phase launched last month to fill vacancies within our Human Resources Division. And then once filled, those new hires will assist with recruitment phases that would follow. The outreach campaign has taken full advantage of our social media channels and our internal and external websites. And for the HR team, they had 12 vacancies they were trying to fill. We received 625 applications for those positions. Working with 100 team leaders and team members across the organization, which is really our largest recruitment effort yet, interviews were conducted over the last 2 weeks with all 625 applicants. Quite an undertaking. Interview panelists included alumni from the 6-month Emerging Leader Program we have here at CalPERS for our own team members interested in promoting into leadership positions, along with other personnel that represent the next generation of leaders here at CalPERS. Team members report that a camaraderie building, we're all in this together kind of experience came out of it, one where everyone is invested in the best possible outcomes and really invested in hiring that next set of talent for CalPERS. Not only is that great for our team culture, but it also helps improve the collaboration amongst our divisions, which has really historically been an underscoring area in our employee engagement survey. The recruitment brought some great candidates to our attention. We have more than enough people to fill the vacancies and have additionally identified dozens of other candidates to invite back for other roles based on their interview scores, their experience, or their education. Phase 2 will be focused on our customer experience division for open positions in the contact center. And then one new introduction to phase 2 is the use of a scoring tool, built to recognize issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. This tool will help reduce potentially biased language in the way that we announce the actual jobs in the bulletins, the duty statements, as well as the interview questions. So far, we have nearly 200 applications on file for those 24 vacancies in the contact center. That will be followed by phase 3, which will recruit for positions across the rest of the enterprise. That would include our information technology team, it would include the investment office, accounting, and more. This phase of the project will look more like an on-campus event, drawing candidates to interview in person as well as virtually. With broad outreach comes a variety and high number of candidates, so the team is looking at how we assess and select candidates while effectively managing sizable candidate pools. One tool that has been effective from the start is the use of a new interest survey included in the job bulletin. It gives applicants the chance to identify which area of a division's work they are most interested in. The interest survey will continue to be used with each implementation phase to help hiring managers better understand where a candidate's knowledge, their skills, and abilities are best suited. To further ensure equity in our recruiting and hiring processes, all panelists were required to attend a special DEI training to help prevent unconscious bias in recruiting and interviewing. As you know, CalPERS is deeply committed to DEI principles that embrace the unique contributions of everyone who works here and everyone we serve. And the CalPERS members we serve, as we know, are part of one of the most diverse states in the nation, so it only makes sense that we do everything that we can to have an equally representative pool of candidates and employees as we build our future CalPERS teams. Going after a diverse pool of talent also extends to the work we're doing with our Emerging Manager Initiative. That's an effort that we launched back in January in concert with our partners TBG and Grosvenor. Not long after Nicole Musico came on board as our CIO last year, she began talking about the great work being done by a growing growing body of smaller investment managers and entrepreneurs, professionals who have different experience and who were outperforming their peers in the private markets. CalPERS does see opportunities in their skill sets and strategies they're using to deliver returns that will ultimately benefit all of our members. We also believe strongly in our leadership role to help advance equity in the financial industry through our Emerging and Diverse Manager program. It is one step forward to cultivate new talent. And that is the primary purpose behind our upcoming event called Catalyst, California's Diverse Investment Manager Forum. That does take place in the Bay Area on June 26th through the 28th in collaboration with CalSTRS. We believe that Catalyst will be a game-changing event to match rising talent with capital allocators who can help scale their efforts. I've mentioned the event to you in a previous report, but I also wanted to share a quick update. Catalyst will feature a few general sessions with industry leading speakers, and a roll-up-your-sleeves kind of format, which will be one-on-one meetings that we'll have with some of the managers, with the allocators who will be in the room. The event is aptly named Catalyst for the momentum-building action it's really meant to inspire. The invitation to allocators have gone out, and the registration for managers is scheduled to open soon. Look forward to keeping you updated as things progress. And I know many of you are out traveling in the manager circles, and hope you will pass on the invitation to those who you're interacting with. Our commitment to leadership in the DEI space also enables us to support organizations making a difference in underrepresented communities, such as the Sacramento chapter of Latinas in Tech or Technology. We are proud to support them by hosting an on-campus panel discussion next Wednesday, April 26th, that will feature two of our own IT managers, Suzette Loggins and Luz Alcazar. Geared toward Latinas and women in general, the event is designed to discuss how to overcome the challenges of getting into an information technology career and also highlight opportunities that are available here at CalPERS. As I mentioned, we are also recruiting for vacancies in our IT department. Latinas in Tech is a nonprofit organization founded in 2014 in Silicon Valley. There's a great need for groups like this to provide pathways into the industry. According to a 2021 article, one study found that while women comprise 28.8% of the U.S. tech workforce, Latinas held only 2% of jobs in STEM fields. Today, Latinas in Tech has grown to 22 chapters around the world with more than 200,000 members, and the Sacramento chapter is actively involved with local schools and colleges to encourage the pursuit of IT careers. Our Chief Information Officer, Stevenson Levson, will welcome the chapter to CalPERS and will also kick off the event. One last important DEI-related item, and that's an accolade received by one of our team members in the Operations Support Services Division for his work with our outside vendor contracting program. Ramon Rivera, our Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, or DVBE advocate, was honored with the Secretary's Special Achievement Award presented by the Government Operations Agency at the 23rd Annual State Agency Recognition Awards. This award is given to the individual whose best practices, innovation, and advocacy efforts have allowed them to exceed the state's small business and DVBE contracting goals. Ramon's work helped CalPERS exceed our own goals with more than 25% small business participation in our procurements and almost 6% of total dollars spent on contracts and procurements with disabled veteran businesses. To achieve those results, he proactively reached out to the business community through trade shows and other events to broaden our contacts with potential suppliers. He also streamlined and automated the process for CalPERS to collect the voluntary statistical data sheet we use to capture data on supplier diversity. This increased the community's response rate by 84%. In the last 3 years, Ramon has received the Advocate of the Year Award for Excellence and Leadership in Procurement. Ramon is here with us today. If you could join me in congratulating him on his award and thanking him for his service to our members. And then a few of you asked me to talk a bit about the meeting that I attended related to inclusive capitalism, which is a group that I've been involved with for about 5 years now. So our day opened with a discussion on energy transition in the context of a continuing debate around divestment from fossil fuel companies versus engagement with them. We also discussed the role of investors and fossil fuel companies in supporting energy security and affordability by focusing on the just transition while pursuing the fastest practical movement to clean energy. And that session was led by the CEO of British Petroleum. We then had a session with the International Sustainability Standards Board on disclosures and just transition, and that would include all of the measurements, and a conversation led by their chair, Emmanuel Faber, who presented the progress of ISSB S1, which is the general sustainability standard, and then also S2, which is the climate-related standard. He stated that they will be coming public in the coming months, and there was a lot of discussion around the inclusion of Scope 3 emissions in that standard. And then council members, in the last discussion, which was the one that I had an opportunity to facilitate, we conferred on the need as business leaders to be a bit more courageous in publicly advocating for the value creation that comes with accounting for climate risks, and inequality risks at a time of increased polarization. And really here in the more of the context of the United States, where do we see maybe value proposition in the Inflation Reduction Act? I've asked Nicole Musico to provide a panel, or at least a panelist at your July offsite, to give you an idea of where we might be thinking opportunities would present themselves through the IRA. And then I'd like to end my report with the quarterly investment performance, or the investment performance as of March 31st. Our preliminary numbers show the fiscal year-to-date return is 3.3, the 5-year projected return is 5.7, the 10-year projected return is 6.9, and the 20-year projected return is 7.5. And that does conclude my report, and I'm happy to take questions, President Taylor.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Frost. That was very informative. I appreciate the detail on